Hi, mamas. I'm so excited for tonight when we get to talk with seriously one of my favorite brands and one of the products that I recommend to my patients the most often, which is SRC Health. And so we're going to be talking about with the owner and founder of this company. And these products are amazing for, again, both pregnancy and postpartum. So we're going to talk about the compression and support and how I use those for my patients and my clients, and how it can just be a complete game changer as you're going through all these changes in pregnancy and then all of the changes on the other side of it in postpartum. So I'm going to go ahead and invite SRC Health and invite Tanyad with us. And so give me a minute as I get this set up and we will get rolling here. So accept to join. Everything going here. Thanks for your patience as we get rolling here. Okay, perfect. So hopefully we are good to go here shortly. Oh, invite to join. All right, we'll see if Sinead gets to join us here. Oh, perfect. Looks like she is joining. Oh, hello. It looks like we have 3 people here, but I only want to have 2. So let me fix that really quick. Request to join. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
What
But
a morning.
somehow, I know, good morning for you and good evening for us, right?
Yes.
We
finally made it after all this time changes and oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. I know. Thank you for your patience. I was like, wait, I thought 5 p.m. But yeah, it's 10 a.m. there or is it 11 a.m.?
When we organized it, of course, none of us took into consideration that your clocks were going to change in the middle of March,
Yeah.
which for us is unusual because normally it's the end of March.
Okay. Yeah.
Clocks change here. Is it always the middle of March there?
I don't know. All I know is that I hate it because my kids are just such a train wreck right now. And I know all my mom patients are saying the same thing. Like, I don't know, it's only an hour, but somehow it just throws everything off in your day. Like everything. Like my kids are up in the middle of the night, which they usually are 2 and 4, so they're usually not. And I'm like, what is happening? So we'll survive. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I seriously.
Oh no, it's a pleasure, and I apologize for all the confusion with respect to times and all of this. So anyway, we're here, and you're going to send me the link so that then we can post it and boost it and etc. So that I'm sure we'll get a lot of views after the event.
Yes, I know. I think people will join in, and then also the live events you can always tune in later, which is so nice.
Exactly.
Good. Well, I seriously love SRC Health, and I am just such a fan of yours that you, after your own journey, were like, I'm going to make what we need. Like, I just think that's amazing.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of like my journey of creating the virtual rehab programs. When I went through my first pregnancy and postpartum, I was like, there needs to be more access to rehab for moms that can't always go into the clinics and can't meet one-on-one with a physio every week for a lot of different, there's a lot of different roadblocks. And so, so I really just admire you that you're like, we need this and I'm going to do it. So it's hard to do.
You know what, when you first start doing it, or you first have an idea, then you go a little bit further down the road. But I think if you knew initially what the whole thing was going to entail and how many tentacles it was going to grow over time, and you know, you have an idea and you think, oh yeah, that's going to be okay, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, what did I know about bringing something to market? What did I know about employing, you know, sales, marketing staff, premises, warehouse? I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
But you know what? You somehow throw patents into that.
Yeah.
What did I know about a patent?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep.
But you go on this really steep learning curve and you somehow manage to get through it. And yeah, the first years are really difficult, especially with when you bring something to market that's new, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of in a way revolutionary, that hasn't been done before.
Yep.
You're really you're really going uphill because nobody seems to get what you want to achieve, or and they think, oh, that's just not going to work, or it's crazy, or you're coming at it from the not the right angle. And but I backed myself, and I knew deep down that eventually that the products would be accepted, and that people would realize the science behind them, but also the simplicity behind them, you know.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it really, I have women tell me that in pregnancy and in postpartum that they're like, I cannot go a day without my SRC garments on.
Yeah.
And you know, they're doing their rehab, they're doing their exercises, but they're just really women I'm thinking about, a lot of them are in pregnancy and they're just, again, having a hard pregnancy,
Yeah.
usually subsequent pregnancies, right? So
Yeah.
symptoms come on sooner. So whether that be pelvic floor symptoms or back pain, sciatica, pubic symphysis,
Yeah.
again, you name it, I see and treat it all. And so these mamas, they're like, man, I can't even wash my leggings because I need to wear them every day. And so I'm like, these things are magic. I just, I think what you've created is amazing. So will you, give us a little rundown on just, again, your products for pregnancy, postpartum, and then I kind of want to talk about it from like a physical therapy standpoint and like when I use them.
Okay. I'll just start with pregnancy.
Yeah.
The pregnancy product, the panels, the anatomical panels. So we knew that there were the most common conditions which you've just gone through are things like, you know, symphysis pubis pain, sacroiliac joint pain, which, you know, as a group is called pelvic girdle pain. Then you've got low back pain, you've got and vulvar varices. So those things were the most common conditions that women suffer during pregnancy. And the idea behind the garment was to be able to wear something day in, day out, 24/7, that was going to promote activity of your muscles, stabilize the underlying joint so that you could get on with your day. So how we went about doing that was to create specific anatomical panels in the garment that targeted conditions. So the gusset panel is in triplicate. Each layer within that panel is cut in a different plane so that you don't lose compression during movement.
Okay.
And of course, you don't see that when you just pick the garment up. That's the technology behind in the garment that you don't see.
Yeah, you can't see it when you, I agree, because I held them up.
Yeah. Then, so that panel really helps with vulvar varices and anything to do with symphysis pubis issues. Then you've got the big rectangular panel at the back. That covers the lumbosacral area, so it targets low back pain and any issues with your sacroiliac joints. Again, it's in triplicate. Then between that and the gusset panel, you have kind of a scalloped panel that sits underneath the pregnancy. So it supports above the symphysis pubis and up the side. So it's almost like a lift if you feel heavy. So then you've got the legs, and of course the legs come in different lengths. They're single layer. If they're leggings, you've got graduated compression for women who have varicose veins or swelling or mild lymphedema, things like that. But if women don't suffer with those, they choose the short or the mini, or they might wish to wear the mini to bed and wear the short or the legging during the day.
Yeah.
Because the legging, the lengths give you great versatility with respect to when you wear it.
Yeah, for sure. Two things to note
Yeah.
that I just want to say that I've noticed. So I, a lot of times will do like a, kind of like a smiley face taping under the belly for my patients. And it's just annoying. I mean, I love kinesio tape, but to do that often, it's just annoying. But it does, again, lift the belly and help with some back pain. Again, all the things connected to the pelvic girdle. But these like pants do that for you.
Yes.
Like you don't have to tape yourself or have a PT tape you every day. So I love that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I was going to mention is actually the reason I found out about Ester C is because I was working with someone who had really bad just varicose veins, like very painful in pregnancy and early on in pregnancy. And so she actually was the one that was like, have you heard of these medically graded leggings? And I was like, no, but I need to be a part of this. And so, and I know it for her, it was just a game changer. I mean, she went from having a lot of pain every day, not being able to be on her feet, even though she had 2 older kids. And then when she wore them, she was symptom free. So
yeah,
I mean, I can just, again, personally testify to like, these things really do work.
They do. And we don't do any false advertising. We don't make any ridiculous claims. We just say what the product does for you. And you know what? If you don't get the desired benefit from it that you were anticipating, then we have 100% money back guarantee. That's how much we back our product.
Yeah.
All our products.
Yeah.
So if you feel like it's not working for you, return it. Obviously within a specific period of time, not within 5 minutes, not within 6 months either.
Yeah.
And we will refund your money.
Yeah.
So there is no risk with respect to purchasing a product and wearing it for, you know, a small period of time and say, oh, this is fantastic, or it didn't work for you. People don't really need to use their 100% money back guarantee.
Yeah.
But it's there for them
Yep.
to give them comfort.
Yeah. I mean, I just wish I would have known honestly about your products before my first pregnancy, because I had so much pubic symphysis pain and so much because I was not walking and running correctly. I developed lots of SI joint pain. So I just wish, again, I didn't know about you guys 5 years ago when I was in the midst of that pregnancy. I'm like, oh man. And so I've just been able to change a lot, and then see like, man, when you again wear the compression garments, when you do the rehab exercises, my second pregnancy, I had like no pain. Like I had no pubic symphysis pain and no back pain. I was like, this is crazy. Like I was like my own case study between pregnancy 1 and 2.
Yeah. You should write that up.
I know. I really, I mean,
really
I
should.
can testify to it. Yeah.
Because all of those things are fantastic for women, you know, who are thinking about becoming pregnant, who are already pregnant, or they're into their second pregnancy and they suffered with exactly what you're talking about in pregnancy 1. To show them that there is something that will make a significant difference to them.
And so many times it's the opposite, right? So I see so many moms that are like, the symptoms started earlier in my second and third pregnancy, but it doesn't have to be that way. Like I'm really convinced, like those moms I work with, they're like, man, I wish I would have known about this in my previous pregnancies. I'm like, like it really is, again, life-changing for you to not be living in pain for your entire pregnancy, right?
And you know, the concept behind the garments, I mean, they're beautifully constructed, as you know, and it takes quite a significant effort to make them, especially when, you know, our specialist compression factories have to cut every layer individually and then take one piece from each pile, for instance, to bring 3 pieces together, cut on different planes. That's time, and time is money and detail. But then you've got to sew and create a flat lock seam between those 3 layers and 3 layers. That's difficult work. That is really difficult work, and getting it perfect every single time. But you know, we live in an age where we just, you know, take things for granted, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
I really have to talk to my patients about that and be like, these are different. These are different than anything you're gonna find. And you know, a lot of moms will go and do the Amazon purchase first, and it won't work. It won't provide the support that they need. And then I'm like, okay, do you believe me now? Right? And so yeah, I think I see that all the time where it's like, you know, we a lot of times we want the, you know, the cheaper option, but it's just not, it's not done the same. So walk me through the postpartum support, kind of what you guys,
Okay.
again, I recommend all my moms I'm working with in pregnancy, I'm saying, hey, this is what I do. And I just hosted an event for 50 moms and I gave all of them like a discount code and your pamphlet. So again, I'm telling everyone.
You're a trooper.
Yeah. Yeah.
The postpartum garment, again, let's talk about the conditions that are most common postpartum.
Yep.
The primary one is diastasis,
yep,
which is a real problem because women are just not educated properly with respect to the issue that it creates. But not only that, the subsequent issues that, you know, are associated with it. So there's diastasis or separation of abdominal muscles, which is extremely common.
Yeah.
Then
I read it all the time. Yep.
Yeah, you either going to have a cesarean section or a vaginal delivery. Well, either way, you potentially have a wound. You'll have your cesarean wound, and or you may be lucky enough not to tear, not to have an episiotomy, not have any stitches. But you know what? You're not going to give birth to something that's, you know, 7 pounds and not have some kind of trauma to the vaginal wall, the perineum, etc., etc. So even though you may not have any tears, you're going to have inflammation in that area for up to 2 months.
Yep, definitely.
So based on those issues, we then went about targeting, using specific anatomical panels to target those areas. So again, the gusset piece is exactly the same, except in this case it's double, it's not triple.
Okay.
The abdominal panel is for your diastasis. The back panel is for low back pain, if you still have low back pain, and or you've still got some issues with your sacroiliac joints. And the legs, again, are single layer. They come in a mini, a short, and a legging, because some women have a lot of fluid on board post-delivery and they like to wear the legging. It's very common here for women to wear the legging or the short during the day, and they wear the mini to bed because they understand that the garment is actually working on their perineum, on their cesarean wound, or on their abdominal muscles by activating their abdominal muscles whilst they're sleeping. So that's what brings your diastasis back together. But also it pushes the products of inflammation in the perineal area and or in your cesarean wound back into the central system, whereby then your body can get rid of it through your renal system.
Yeah, I think it's great to have the different options because again, depending on the season, I think different moms, you know, they're like, okay, it's going to be, you know, a fall, winter baby. Okay, we're going to the leggings. Summer, you know, we'll get the shorts. So I think that's great to have the options. I think the things I probably treat most is, I see a lot of diastasis recti. And then my one of my virtual programs is really focused on diastasis recti healing. And so again, that's another thing that I used to, and I still do sometimes, do kinesiotaping to really try and get the transversus abdominis to engage. But again, just keeping that tape on for long periods of time is hard, right? We have to take baths. And some people, including myself, I'm allergic to kinesiotape.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's just not a great option. So just having shorts that you can pull on that will that will help you with that healing, along with, again, it doesn't replace the rehab exercises, you know, but it goes alongside it, right? And so I'm just so thankful to have a product like that.
No, it's a fantastic adjunct. And even women that, you know, there'll be a percentage of women that will say, oh, well, I had my baby 2 years ago, but my physical therapist has still diagnosed me with, you know, 3 centimeter, 5 centimeter diastasis, and I'm wanting to have another child. Where does this leave me? So what we do here is that we put them into the shorts, or the physio or physical therapist will put them into the shorts, and then they will design a clinical Pilates program for that, tailored to that client. And within 4 months, generally speaking, their diastasis is healed. But they wear the product day and night. They just take it off to shower and to wash. But they wear the product for 4 months, and they do the program for 4 months, and the results are fantastic. So don't be afraid to push somebody that may come to you who is 18 months, 2 years, 2.5 years post with diastasis. Don't be afraid to do this.
No, I'm such a believer in that. Again, there's not this time frame where you're like, well, it's been 10 years, or you know what, you've had 5 kids too many to like heal this, right? There's no like time frame. Like we know from research that like tissue can heal at any time.
Absolutely.
Right. And it's amazing that the body is able to do that. And one thing that I really wanted to note about, again, the postpartum leggings and shorts that I just really love is that it's safe on your pelvic floor. So many patients that I know, and clients I work with virtually, they have done like the typical, mom tummy program, and they've done the belly binding. And again, they are working with me because in the process of just treating their tummy, so again, their diastasis recti, they've actually created pelvic floor issues.
Exactly.
And this can happen with, again, my vaginal and C-section delivery patients. And it breaks my heart because, again, their goal was to, again, just heal their abs. But because your core and your pelvic floor work together in we can't just treat your core without your pelvic floor, right?
Correct.
So when moms, and I actually have several videos on this, I'll link to them tonight after we're done, but a 3-part video series of how belly binding can really impact your pelvic floor negatively. And again, it just makes me sad when I see these scenarios, and I see them more than I want to. And so when I run into the scenario, I always say, go buy these shorts, because again, you provide the pelvic floor supports and the core supports. So we're not squeezing, again, a toothpaste and then putting all the pressure down.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, and we use a very similar analogy of a balloon. You put a sleeve on a balloon, and it's encased in that sleeve, so it's got equal pressure on all aspects of that balloon, i.e. your trunk and your pelvic floor. You put a single binder midway or at the top end of the balloon, the top third. The pressure, of course, is going to go into your C-section wound and your perineum. And all the products of inflammation are going to go in there. So it's going to weaken those areas. You'll get keloid scarring potentially. You'll have, if you have an episiotomy with stitches, you'll have slower healing.
No, I know it's again, it's hard because I do think, there's a lot of, again, women with different beliefs of, what's the right standard postpartum. I think it's about, again, getting equal attention to all parts of the core. I always give like the pop can analogy, or a seltzer can, right? So we can't just squeeze here, is what you're saying, right? We got to also treat this. And so even, from a rehab perspective, even if it's a C-section mama, I'm still going to incorporate pelvic floor, diaphragm, core into all of the exercises, right? So it's all connected, right?
It's all connected, but this is one of the issues with I think the lack of education, generally speaking. Women sometimes see their abdominal muscles in isolation. They don't really understand that their abdominal muscles work synergistically with their back, diaphragm, and pelvic floor. It's one whole unit, and each component of that unit is dependent on the other to be strong for all of them to function well. Because if one of them is weaker, i.e. your abdominals, of course your pelvic floor and your lower back are going to take the stress.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's, again, interesting because when I've been a PT for 10 years now, almost 10 years, and then specializing in women's health for 5 years now. And you see, again, these trends. So not everyone might come in with the same pain, but again, the scenario you just described of, weak abdominals, weak pelvic floor, poor coordination between the two, that's usually underlying. Even when patients come in with knee pain, hip pain, foot pain in postpartum, it usually comes back to what you just described, right?
Yeah.
And so not all moms notice like, oh, that's actually because of what I've gone through, the pregnancy postpartum, but it, again, kind of all roots back to that. So it's super interesting.
Absolutely. And some of them, they will have had issues with one sacroiliac joint where it's a gliding joint, so it'll glide out of position.
Yep.
So then they develop a limb length discrepancy because that's never been put back into position so both limbs can function properly.
Yep.
So there's all of those things that obviously that you treat limb length discrepancy. And the other thing that women don't get is how their feet change.
Oh yeah.
During pregnancy. Yep. And it's like, oh, my feet have grown. Actually, no, they've not actually grown. You're just more pronated because of the relaxing.
Yeah. No, for sure. I always notice like, the arches collapse, right? And so that's one thing I actually give a lot of my mama patients and clients some arch exercises and also getting to work with their glute because those work together in gait. Right? Yep. And so it's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up. I have two things I really want to cover. One, woman asked, have women complained about a weaker bladder because of the tightness of the garment around the bladder? I have not heard of that because, again, I think it's tight but not too tight. But how would you respond to that?
The garment's not tight. In fact, you shouldn't really even feel that it's on. You put it on, and yes, it's there.
Yeah.
But after a very short period of time, it should feel like normal shorts.
Yep.
But it provides a grade 1 level of continuous compression. So it's not going to push on your bladder and make you want to go to the bathroom all the time.
Yep.
That's not the function of the garment. It doesn't work like shapewear.
Yep.
It's completely different. It's on the opposite end of the spectrum to it.
Yep.
If the garment is tight, like really tight, you have the wrong size.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And then the other thing, I guess last two things. First of all, so to all my mamas that follow me on Strong Core Mama, I do give like a 15% discount. You guys get a 15% discount to all of my Strong Core Mama followers. So if you are not following Strong Core Mama, come follow me and I will share a discount code. Because again, I talk about these products and I recommend them all the time. So discounts are amazing. And so thank you for offering that discount code to all our followers. And then last thing I want to say is, again, maybe I'll ask you this as a question, like, where do you see the connection between, again, the rehab piece with, again, in Australia, it's physios, here we're physical therapists, but I know you guys have pelvic floor physios because I have some of them. And then again, your garments and your compression elements, like, where do you see that connection?
For us, the connection is the physical therapist or the physiotherapist getting their customer client measured at approximately 36 weeks during their pregnancy, or if they're having twins, probably 33, 34 weeks, because usually they'll deliver at 35 to 36.
Yep.
So that the garment is in their hospital bag.
Yep.
They're in hospital, they will need help to get this garment on, especially if they've had a cesarean delivery. Not so much if they've had a vaginal delivery with no issues, but if they've had a vaginal delivery with, subsequent stitches, etc., they will probably need to get some help to get it on.
Yep.
Wear it to comfort. If it feels tight because you've got some fluid on board, take it off.
Yep.
Wait 24 hours, retry it, and then just wear it to comfort. You might wear it for 4-6 hours the first day, 12 hours the second day, 24 hours the third, and then you're off and running,
Yep.
And then then you work with your physical therapist, and that person will provide you specific exercises, that gentle exercises that you prescribe within the first week, in the first 6 weeks, and then after the first 6 weeks. So it's a whole program, a combined program that will allow that woman to recover safely, using the garment, but also doing their exercises, etc., that you prescribe specifically to their needs for 3-4 months postpartum.
Definitely.
So that's how we work together.
No, for sure. And again, I see such a teamwork. It's kind of like, it's like an adjunct, right? Like, I definitely think that, again, those garments are going to help serve my patients, so they're going to have less pain, and they're going to be able to really progress their exercises, so they're actually going to see results sooner, right? Like, it really does help the rehab process. And again, in pregnancy, just in general, less pain, more pain management, which is just so helpful, especially when you have little ones running around and you're pregnant.
Very much so. And just briefly touching on the poor women that, haven't worn the garment or haven't done exercise, and they've had diastasis, and subsequent to that, they have chronic low back pain and or prolapse or stress urinary incontinence. Then obviously you're a great advocate for the Restore garment.
For sure. I know I did a little promo for that one a couple months ago, and I think the prolapse I do treat a lot of prolapse. I see a lot of pelvic floor clients with any type of incontinence and prolapse, and so the Restore garment is definitely what I recommend for those mamas. And then again, it just allows. I work in Fort Collins, Colorado, so it's super active. I work with a lot of runners, hikers, weightlifters. Everyone is very motivated to be active. And so I love that those shorts, again, along with like the rehab program, allows them to, feel like themselves. It allows them to move their bodies. It allows them to do something for themselves and to keep themselves healthy, right? Like
their quality of life.
Exactly.
I mean, the results from the clinical trials that we did in both the stress urinary incontinence population and the prolapse population were nothing short of astounding. We were even shocked. Like,
that's awesome.
They were statistically significant across all, like their quality of life.
That's amazing.
And the reduction of their stress urinary incontinence, and the same within the prolapse group.
That's amazing.
We in the prolapse group, we tested the sort of the mild to moderate prolapse. But we didn't include the severe. But we've had so many women who've tried the garment, who would be considered to have a grade 3 prolapse, 4, that the garment has been successful for them.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So it's worth a try.
It is. I mean, it really is.
To lose? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess to kind of wrap it up, I know at least for all my Colorado mommies, including myself, it's dinner time and bedtime, so let the chaos begin. But thank you so much for taking the time just to educate us today, and just really inform us about your garments. And thank you again for what you do, because it's of so much value to I know all my patients and clients. So, and again, if you don't follow me yet, then follow me, because get your discount, get your 15% off. And again, pregnant, postpartum, or beyond with the Restore shorts, definitely, again, these are worth investing in. So
absolutely. Look, thank you so much for having me, and it's been a great chat.
Yes, thank you.
And again, apologies for all the time.
We made it work.
We did. Just send me the link. Just send Raylene and I the link.
Okay,
and Raylene will be in touch with you as well about the giveaway.
Okay. Wonderful.
And then we'll organize that with you, for you.
Okay,
and
great.
You'll be able to advertise that.
Okay,
and
great.
we will put the live up on our socials.
Okay, wonderful. I'm sure that will benefit a lot of people.
You have a fantastic evening.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Okay, all the
we'll
best.
Talk soon.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.